Good day, today I'll be answering some questions for my 10th oral project. The first of them says, have you ever eaten an entire pizza by yourself? The answer is no, I haven't, but not because my stomach won't endure it, but because I haven't had the chance to eat an entire pizza by myself. One round Hawaiian big familiar pizza in front of me and just for me. The thing is that every time I go into a pizza place, it's with friends or family, and the gracious of it is sharing with others, not getting one circle of dough for every each of us. But I know that if I had the chance to eat an entire pizza, I would gobble it all up for myself. Now, second question. Do you learn better by studying in a group than by yourself? That's a hard question to answer because I've always studied by my own. I usually didn't have to study that hard when I was in high school, but now that I am in college, it requires more dedication. And the first thing that every one of us do is immediately getting into a room for 12 hours, making a non-stop studying session. But I have always enjoyed to go to college early in the morning, met some friends in the classroom, and began to talk with them, ask them about everything I remember, and to answer their questions as well. Maybe if I had a standardized group where all of us put some effort to share information, it would be an amazing idea to study in groups instead of alone. Now, third question. Did you learn to cook by yourself? Definitely no. My mom, sister, and grandma taught me everything I know in the kitchen. I think that's how traditional seasoning is passed through generations. It's obvious though that I don't cook as good as those women that I mentioned. I think it's because one's food can never taste as good as that food of a loved one, or because I haven't dedicated that much time to it. I don't have enough patience to kitchen because using a lot of bowls and pans to get a better flavor and having to wash all those kitchen utensils after is a disgrace. So yes, in fact, what I know is because of those women, those who learned by the experience and that have passed me that empirical knowledge. Fourth question, do you see yourself living in another country in 5 years? Life do a lot of turnarounds, and tomorrow I could be flying to Paris as I could be alone in a desert starving to death. But I'll say that I see me still in my country here in 5 years because I have first to finish my degree. When I leave the country, I have to decide first to be free because for this I need to leave everything behind, and I plan not to come back once I've crossed the borders. One sided though, but if I had to choose a place to travel to, it'd be definitely Finland because I like the weather and all the panorama of the mountains back there during the dawn and crepuscle. Because there's not a single difference between the beginning and the end of the day, between the alpha and the omega. Fifth, fifth question: have you ever traveled anywhere by yourself? Just a lot of times actually, but always inside my country. As a college student that have to travel from between provinces to study, I have to move by myself every time alone. And always that I come back to my hometown, I do it as well alone, but always with music and books. When I was about to enter high school, I used to travel by myself too. So I think there's where I learned to manage the kind of problems that arise during a trip. But I haven't been too far from home alone. My mother has, and I admire that, how she flew to Colombia at the age of 17, facing all kind of worth right into history problems. Sixth question, would you like to change something about yourself? Well, I've been thinking about it recently, and I think what I've changed is the way I express my feelings because every time I feel something, it's very hard to me to kind of tell other people how I feel, the things that, well, my ideals and my choices and my preferences, I always put myself besides others instead of trying to use an assertive communication and combine all the options uh, to get to the best way to actually enjoy with people and not just be there trying to make everyone happy instead of myself, because if I'm not happy, I really can't make anyone else happy. So I think that's why what I try to change myself, and something that definitely I have to deal with. Now, seventh question. Have you ever lived by yourself? Absolutely, I actually live by myself now. Not completely independent though, because I need the money my mom sends every month to survive, but I do all the other things alone. Since I started college, I began living by myself. Luckily, I knew already how to cook, sweep, and wash my clothes, because actually, for this last thing, it isn't that hard because putting clothes into a machine, pressing some buttons, and waiting is not a problem. But the challenge comes with food, because if I want a regular meals during the day, I have to prepare the food like 2 days before, then freeze it, and that way I have rations of food for my week. Otherwise, I have to get home and begin preparing my food, knowing that I have uh, not just to watch the dishes afterwards, but as well to study. Now, final question. Do you know someone who taught himself or herself a foreign language? Yes, she's actually close to me right now, my sister. Like me, she didn't have a teacher in the school that would teach her the language. All she had was curiosity. So when she got the change of school, the teacher had little to do with her. Now she's great at English. She read all the time in English, and I'd say she learned it all from songs and books. She even teach me how to write some things. Like everything that is learned without the formals of the school, she don't know about fancy rules. She just says and tries what sounds good to her memory. I admire that actually, and that's how you truly acquire a language. So that's all. Thanks.